You're about to make a $500, a $1,000, or maybe even a $3,000 mistake. You walk into the store or you open a browser and you see the flashiest screens with the biggest discount stickers. It feels like a steal. But let me tell you right now, that deal is likely a trap. Welcome back. Christmas 2025 is right around the corner, and the marketing machine is working overtime to get you to buy inventory that they are desperate to get rid of. TV manufacturers know that for the next few weeks, you are looking at price tags, not panel technology. They know you're looking at brand names you think you trust, not the factory where that TV was actually built. I have spent the last year testing, calibrating, and stressing every major TV brand on the market. I have looked at the reliability data, the return rates, and the raw performance metrics, and I have compiled a definitive list. We are ranking the top 12 major TV brands from the absolute worst, the ones that are basically e-waste waiting to happen, to the absolute best, the screens that will actually last you through the next decade. If you are planning to put a big box into the tree this year, do not pull that trigger until you watch this video. We are starting at the bottom of the barrel. Let's go.
Coming in at number 12, the absolute bottom of the pile for 2025 is Roku TV. Now, wait a minute, I know what you were thinking, but I love my Roku. The stick is so easy to use. And you are right. The Roku operating system is great. It is simple, it is snappy, and your grandma can figure it out in 10 seconds. But here's the dirty little secret they don't want you to know. Roku does not make televisions. When you buy a Roku TV, you are buying a license. You are buying a piece of software that has been slapped onto hardware from the lowest bidder. Roku goes to various factories and basically says, who can build us a screen for the absolute cheapest price possible? And whoever wins that race to the bottom gets to put the Roku logo on the bezel. The result? In 2025, these panels are suffering from massive quality control issues. We are seeing flickering backlights right out of the box. We are seeing dead pixels develop within the first 3 months. And the color accuracy? It is practically non-existent. If you watch a movie on a budget Roku TV, the skin tones look waxy, the dark scenes are just a gray, muddy mess, and the motion handling is jerky. But the biggest reason this is ranked last is the lifespan. These TVs are built with capacitors and power supplies that are pushed to their absolute limit. They run hot and they burn out fast. We are seeing a lifespan of 1 to 2 years on average before major issues start popping up. Buying a Roku TV is like buying a disposable camera. It's fine for a moment, but do not expect it to last. If you love the Roku interface, buy a $20 streaming stick and plug it into a better TV. Do not buy the TV itself.
Moving up one spot, but barely, to number 11. It is the house brand of the big blue box store itself, Insignia. If you have ever walked into Best Buy, you have seen these stacked in the center aisle. They are usually incredibly cheap, like 50-inch TV for $200 cheap. And that price tag is seductive. You think, hey, it's just for the guest room, or it's just for the kids. Here is the reality of Insignia in 2025. These are ultra-cheap components housed in cheap plastic shells. The build quality is shocking. If you squeeze the frame, you can actually hear the plastic creaking and groaning. But the physical build isn't even the main problem. It is the processing. A TV needs a brain to convert the signal from your cable box or internet into a picture. The processors inside Insignia TVs are sluggish and underpowered. This means navigating the menu feels like walking through mud. You press a button, and 2 seconds later, the TV responds. It is infuriating. And then there is the infamous green line. Internet forums are full of Insignia owners complaining about vertical green lines appearing on their panels just after the 1-year warranty expires. Since these are house brand TVs, getting them repaired is almost impossible because nobody stocks the specific parts for them. They are intended to be disposable. They are temporary televisions. Unless you literally need a screen to run a menu at a coffee shop, steer clear.
Number 10 is a name that sounds historic, American, and trustworthy. Westinghouse. This is a classic example of what we call a zombie brand. The original Westinghouse Electric Corporation was a giant of industry, but the TV brand you see on shelves today, it has nothing to do with that legacy. The name was sold off and licensed to manufacturers who pump out inconsistent budget-tier electronics. The biggest issue with Westinghouse in 2025 is consistency. You could buy 2 of the exact same model, set them up side by side, and they would look like 2 completely different televisions. One might be bright, the other might be dim. One might have decent sound, the other might sound like it is underwater. Our testing has shown a persistent issue with a blue tint. Even after you go into the settings and try to make the picture warmer, the whites look icy blue. It makes everyone on screen look like they are freezing to death. It is unnatural and very straining on the eyes. Furthermore, the Wi-Fi chips they use in these units are notoriously weak. If your router isn't sitting directly next to the TV, good luck streaming 4K content without buffering. The connection drops constantly. And if you try to call customer support, you are likely going to hit a dead end. They do not have the infrastructure to support the product properly. Do not let the legacy name fool you. This is not the quality your grandfather grew up with.
At number 9, we have Element. You will usually find these at places like Target or Walmart. Element leans heavily into marketing that says assembled in the USA. And while that is technically true, they do put the final screws in at a factory in South Carolina. The parts are the same bottom barrel components coming from overseas that everyone else uses. Element TVs are what I call the dorm room special. They are extremely basic. We are talking about panels that have very low brightness capabilities. In technical terms, they struggle to hit 200 nits of brightness. To put that in perspective, your cell phone is probably 5 times brighter than an Element TV. What does this mean for you? It means if you have a window in your living room, or if you turn the lights on, you won't be able to see the picture. The screen turns into a mirror. The glare handling is terrible. The colors are also incredibly washed out. Red looks like pink, green looks like lime. There is no depth to the image. It looks flat. The smart features are minimal and often crash. If you are buying a TV for a prison cell or a place where it might get broken immediately, sure, buy an Element. But for a home theater experience, absolutely not.
Number 8 is a bit of a tragedy. It is Sharp. If you are old enough to remember the early 2000s, you remember the Sharp Aquos. It was the TV to own. It was a status symbol. But today, Sharp is a shadow of its former self. Here's the situation. In the US market, the Sharp brand name is effectively licensed out to Hisense. So when you buy a Sharp TV, you are basically buying a Hisense TV, but usually an older, less advanced model that they slapped a Sharp sticker on. They rank at number 8 because they aren't broken like the brands we just talked about. The picture is fine. It is average. But that is the problem. They are priced slightly higher because of the brand recognition, but the performance is mediocre. The biggest issue we have seen is dimming over time. Backlight degradation seems to happen faster on these units. After 2 or 3 years, the TV just doesn't look as punchy as it did on day one. The saturation fades. They are also missing a lot of the modern gaming features. You aren't getting the high refresh rates or the variable refresh rate support that you find on other TVs in this price bracket. You are paying a premium for a memory of a brand that doesn't really exist anymore. It's not the worst, but it is certainly not a smart buy.
Now we enter the mid-range danger zone with number 7, Hisense. Hisense is the most frustrating brand on this list. Why? Because on paper, they are incredible. If you look at the specs, mini LED, local dimming, 144 Hz refresh rates, ULED technology, they look like they should cost $2,000, but they are selling them for $600. It sounds like the deal of the century, and sometimes it is. But Hisense is ranked number 7 because buying one is literally gambling. We call it the panel lottery. You could buy a Hisense U8 series and it looks absolutely stunning. Deep blacks, blinding brightness, punchy colors. But your neighbor could buy the exact same model and get a panel with terrible dirty screen effect, where it looks like someone smeared grease all over the image during hockey or football games. The other major flaw is their motion processing. Hisense tries to use aggressive algorithms to make motion look smooth, but it often results in artifacts. If you are watching a fast action movie, you might see ghosting or weird halos around objects as they move. It can be very distracting. And then there is the reliability. The failure rate on the main boards, the computer part of the TV, is higher than the industry average. You get amazing specs for the price, but you are rolling the dice on whether the TV lasts 5 years or dies in 18 months. It is a risky value.
At number 6, we have the direct rival to Hisense, and that is TCL. TCL edges out Hisense for one specific reason. Their software integration is smoother.
TCL has gone all in on the Google TV platform, and for the most part, they run it better than the competition in the budget space. TCL is the king of bang for your buck. Their 6 Series and 8 Series TVs offer quantum dot color and mini LED backlighting that legitimately rivals TVs that cost twice as much. When you get a good TCL, it is jaw-dropping. The HDR pops, the blacks are inky, and it is a great experience. However, they are stuck at number 6 because they suffer from the same panel lottery as Hisense, though perhaps slightly less severe. We still see inconsistent quality control. You might get a unit with clouding, where black screens look like they have white fog in the corners. The return policy is your best friend here. If you buy a TCL, you need to open it immediately, run some test patterns, and be prepared to exchange it if you lose the lottery. If you are willing to do that legwork, you can get an amazing TV. But as a general recommendation for the average buyer who just wants it to work perfect the first time, it is firmly in the middle of the pack. It is high value, but inconsistent.
We are breaking into the top 5, and this one might be controversial. Number 5 is the legendary Sony. Wait, I hear you screaming. Sony is the best. How are they number 5? Here is the hard truth about Sony in 2025. They are premium, but they are severely overpriced. We call it the Sony tax. You are paying anywhere from 20 to 40% more than a comparable competitor just for the logo on the front. Now, give credit where credit is due. Sony's processing is the best in the world. Their motion handling and upscaling, taking low-quality cable TV and making it look like 4K, is magic. Nobody does it better. If you watch a lot of old DVDs or low-quality cable news, Sony makes it look great. But the value proposition just isn't there anymore. Their lower and mid-range LEDs are often dimmer than the competition and lack features. And their operating system? Sony uses Google TV, but on their mid-range sets, it can be surprisingly laggy. For the price of a luxury car, the dashboard shouldn't stutter. Also, Sony is not the fortress of reliability it was in the 90s. We have seen just as many power supply failures on modern Sony units as we do on Shaper brands. You are paying for premium performance, which you get, but you are not necessarily paying for premium durability. If you have unlimited money, sure, buy the top-tier Sony, but for 99% of people, the value just doesn't add up.
Number 4 is the comeback kid, Vizio. A few years ago, Vizio was struggling, but in 2025, they have refocused their strategy, and it is working. Vizio has decided to focus almost entirely on panel quality and aggressive pricing, specifically for gamers and movie lovers. Their mid-range M-Series and P-Series TVs offer incredible local dimming. This means the dark parts of the screen stay dark while the bright parts sear your retinas. The contrast is fantastic. They have also embraced gaming features like variable refresh rate, faster than almost anyone else in the budget space. So why aren't they top 3? 2 words: SmartCast. Vizio's operating system is, to put it politely, garbage. It is slow, it is filled with ads, and it is frustrating to navigate. It feels like the processor is struggling to keep up with the menu. However, there is a hack. The hardware is solid. The picture is beautiful. The price is right. If you buy a Vizio and you promise me you will ignore the built-in smart features and just plug in an Apple TV or a fast streaming stick, you have one of the best TVs on the market for the money. It is a dumb TV with a great screen, and honestly, that is what a lot of us want.
We are in the top 3. The bronze medal goes to the giant, Samsung. Samsung is the market leader for a reason. Their QLED panels are incredibly bright. If you have a living room with floor-to-ceiling windows and tons of sunlight, a Samsung TV is probably your best bet. It can punch through that glare like nothing else. They are also the best TVs for gamers. The game bar features, the low input lag, and the integration with Xbox and PlayStation are seamless. It just works. But Samsung has a philosophy that keeps them from the #1 spot. They lie to your eyes. Samsung prioritizes pop over accuracy. Out of the box, the colors are neon. Grass looks radioactive green. Red roses look like they are glowing. It's designed to look good under the harsh fluorescent lights of a showroom floor, but when you get it home, it can look unnatural. People's skin tones can look orange, and their AI processing is very aggressive. It tries to sharpen everything, which sometimes makes movies look like soap operas.
You can fix this by diving deep into the settings and turning all that junk off, but most people don't do that. Also, Samsung still refuses to support Dolby Vision, which is the industry standard for high dynamic range movies. That is a stubborn omission that hurts movie lovers. Great TVs, fun TVs, but not accurate TVs.
The runner-up for 2025, the silver medal, LG. Specifically, we are talking about LG OLEDs. If you have never seen an OLED in person, it changes the game. Unlike normal LED TVs, OLED pixels produce their own light. When they need to be black, they turn off completely. This gives you infinite contrast. The picture quality on an LG C series or G series is breathtaking. It's immersive. The depth is incredible. The viewing angles are perfect. You can sit anywhere in the room and the picture doesn't wash out. And the WebOS smart platform is actually pretty good. The Magic Remote, where you point and click like a mouse, is very intuitive. So why isn't it number one? Two reasons: brightness and burn-in anxiety. While OLEDs are getting brighter, they still can't compete with Samsung or Hisense in a very bright room. If you have a lot of sun, the screen can look a bit dim. And then there's burn-in. While modern tech has mostly fixed this, there is still a small risk that if you leave a news ticker or a video game health bar on the screen for 10 hours a day, every day, it could leave a permanent ghost image. It is a small risk, but it exists. LG also has some issues with banding in dark gray scenes. But for 95% of users, this is the best picture quality you can buy. It's the safe, premium choice.
And here we are, the #1 TV brand for Christmas 2025, the king of the hill, Panasonic. You might be surprised. Panasonic? Do they even make TVs anymore? Yes, they do, and they are the best in the world. Panasonic has a slightly different philosophy than everyone else. While Samsung wants to dazzle you with brightness and Sony wants to charge you for the brand, Panasonic cares about one thing: director's intent. They work directly with Hollywood colorists to ensure that what you see on your screen is exactly what the movie maker intended. The color accuracy out of the box is perfection. You do not need to calibrate it. The skin tones are natural, the shadows have detail without being crushed. It is the most cinematic image you can get. But it is not just about the picture, it is the build quality. Panasonic TVs are built like tanks. They use better heat sinks to keep the panel cool, which extends the lifespan significantly. While a budget TV might last 3 years, a Panasonic is built to last 10. They are the Toyota Land Cruiser of the TV world, reliable, high performance, and built to endure. The only downside? They are hard to find. In the US, availability can be spotty, and you often have to go to specialty audio-video retailers rather than big box stores. But if you can find one, buy it. It is the only TV on this list that has practically zero compromises. It is the best overall TV you can buy in 2025.
So there you have it. From the disposable junk at the bottom of the barrel to the cinematic masterpieces at the top. Here is my final piece of advice for you this Christmas. Do not get distracted by the fancy buzzwords on the box. Crystal UHD, motion rate 120, super contrast. It is all marketing fluff. Focus on the panel technology, check the model number, and remember that a TV is an investment you look at every single day. Don't spend $500 on a mistake that you'll hate in 6 months. Save up a little more, or wait for a sale on one of the top-tier brands we discussed. Your eyes will thank you. Comment below and let us know which TV you're going to buy this Christmas. If this list saved you from making a bad purchase, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. I'll see you in the next one. Happy holidays and happy watching.